Okay. Good evening. My name is Margaret and I am co-chair of the Jeffreys Point Neighborhood Association. You just should have seen an announcement on your screen that states that this meeting is being recorded. Although this meeting will be hosted on YouTube, it is not searchable on YouTube. It will only be available on the Jeffreys Point website at www.jeffreyspoint.org. You do not have to have your camera on for the meeting. You do not have to have your real name posted on your square. You may change it if you so desire. You may also do not have to have your voice recorded if you do not wish to do so. You may submit information through the chat. You may control your name, image, and likeness as you feel most comfortable. As I said, my name is Margaret and I am co-chair, and I will turn it over to Tyler to introduce himself.
Hey everyone, my name's Tyler Lane. I'm the other co-chair and I kind of handle the planning and zoning stuff for the JPNA. And I'll turn it over to Andrew Pike.
Hi, I'm Andrew Pike. I am the treasurer. Aubrey?
Hi everyone, I am Aubrey. I'm vice chair. Hola a todos, bienvenidos a nuestra reunión mensual de la JPNA.
Not present this evening is Joanna. She is planning on stepping down. Later on in this meeting, we will be having an election, and her seat is one we will be filling. We do have technically 2 seats open, although I am hoping to run for re-election. And we do have some people who have nominated themselves. So we will run the election later, but in the meantime, I'm going to switch over to another screen so I can read some announcements. Next month, on Monday, July 13th at 7 p.m. at the Golden Stairs Terrace Park, will be the JPNA Potluck, our annual gathering of residents, neighbors, and elected officials. All are welcome. We hope that you can join us. This is a wonderful opportunity to meet members of the community. The Golden Stairs Terrace Park is, of course, at the top of the Golden Stairs. It is a lovely park which oversees the Pierce Park, and it is a lovely evening. It will start at 6:30 and runs till approximately 8:30, so it is in lieu of our regular July meeting. And before that happens, in approximately the next week to 10 days, we encourage everyone to keep an eye on your email for the opening of the JPNA raffle. This raffle is the primary fundraiser for the JPNA, and it covers our annual costs. It costs, I'd have to check, but the last time I checked, it was approximately $1,000 a year to run the JPNA. That covers costs such as Zoom. It covers costs such as our website hosting. It covers the cost of the ballot, the program that we use to run ballots. It covers all the costs of the paper goods for all of our events. And we do this fundraising so that we don't have to solicit individuals or ask people to pay funds to participate in the JPNA. So if you would like to donate an item to the raffle, we would certainly welcome that. Feel free to email the JPNA at board@jeffreyspoint.org, and we are happy to accept your raffle item. And keep an eye on your email so that when we let you know that the raffle is open, please feel free to bid early, often, and on many items. We would greatly appreciate it. Also coming up this month is the Cottage Street Block Party. It has been scheduled for Sunday, June 28th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. It will be on Cottage Street between Maverick and Everett Street. And again, all are welcome. The mayor's office has been encouraging a lot of block parties. So we know coming up will be the Haines Street Block Party, the Everett Street Block Party, and now we have a Cottage Street Block Party. Block parties are a wonderful way to meet your neighbors, make new friends, and they're always a good time. So all are encouraged to attend. A quick reminder that the World Cup Festival is scheduled for this Saturday from 12 to 4 p.m. at Pierce Park. It's an opportunity to see if we can break the record for having the world's largest soccer ball at Pierce Park. Word to the wise, do not drive down. Take public transportation, take the T, take the bus, do not drive. It is expected to be very popular. We think it'll be a great time, but we think parking will be extremely difficult. So don't drive, but still go. As a quick reminder, the Parade of Sail, which will happen later this summer and will have incredible viewing opportunities also in Pierce Park, will be occurring. And at that time, Marginal Street will be closed to cars. So if you anticipate participating in the Parade of Sail, we encourage you to make alternative transportation plans and check the Massport website for information on shuttle buses that will be available. Congratulations to the Blue Caboose. It has had their soft opening, and so now ice cream is available in the neighborhood. It's open at the end of the Mary Ellen Welsh Greenway at the Marginal Street end. They opened just this week, and we wish them great success. I believe I'm going to ask her to wave. That's Aubrey. Did you get down there the other day? I know you were hoping to go with the kids.
Yes, brought all the kids. We had a great time. Great ice cream, and also the creamery they use won best in Massachusetts, I think. So it's some good stuff.
That is excellent. It has taken the owners several years to get the Blue Caboose open. We thank them so much for taking on this wonderful project, and we wish them great success. Quick reminder, there is a planning and zoning meeting scheduled for this month. It is, yep, I see Tyler shaking his head. It is scheduled for next Wednesday, July 17th. It will be at 7 p.m. on Zoom. You can register on the JPNA website at www.jeffreyspoint.org. On the agenda will be the Marginal Street Shipyard. They are here. Yes, the Marginal Street Shipyard is here this evening. They're going to be talking about timelines and schedules, and then they will be having a more in-depth meeting on the planning and zoning meeting to talk about permitting.
Margaret, sorry to interrupt you, but just before we get 20 emails about this, the registration for next week's meeting will be available most likely either Wednesday or shortly after Wednesday, but we usually post it about a week out to the meeting. So it's not there yet, so don't email us yet.
That is correct. And we will never, we always wait until the monthly meeting is over before we will post the registration for the planning and zoning so that people don't get confused. So this is a conscious decision. This is not a mistake or a miss. This is done so that people only register for one meeting at a time, which is the next meeting that's coming up. This scheduling of meetings was done on purpose. Some people just want to get an overview. Some people want to have a deep dive into permits. And so this scheduling was done on purpose. I just want people to know that. So it's now 7:12. I did not think it was going to take us this long to go through announcements and everything else. So I will say, let's dive into things. We are going to start off. I see that we have Officer Mosley here this evening to speak with us from the police. And I'm looking to see, I see we have several pages. So I'm trying to see if we have Officer Santolo. If Officer Santolo is here, please feel free to take yourself off mute. Otherwise, I will let Officer Mosley start and present and let us know what's going on in the neighborhood from the police. Thank you so much.
Good evening at all. First off, I have on May 31st, this is a walk-in report for a fraud. This victim walked into District 7 to report that on the 27th, this occurred at actually 27 Maverick Square. So this individual said they went online looking for a job, and as a result of doing so, they found this phone number. After being in touch with this individual, this individual asked them to download an app. After the app was downloaded, his phone started acting strange, and he also noticed that out of his bank account, there was money started to become missing. So he goes on to expire his purchases as well. So he goes on to continue conversing with this individual, the suspect, I should say. And the suspect admitted to withdrawing money from his account and attempted to withdraw money from his account in Brazil, but without he wasn't able to. He said he has since then that the the victim says they had since then blocked all of his accounts and filed a report with Bank of America. And I'm pretty sure the our detectives are working on that as well. So June 1st, I have, this was another walk-in report. This was for a fraud. The victim stated that while he was working in Cambridge, he got a notification on his email that his Chase account, credit card, I should say, was used in Quincy for the amount of $96.94. He stated that the restaurant, he's called the restaurant and spoke to the manager and said that someone came and physically handed the credit card to them. He stated that he had already locked his card and would contact the bank. June 2nd, this was at, where was this here? This right here was 246 to 248 Sumner Street. This was for a stolen motor vehicle. Let's see, this the individual walked in and stated that his black Chevy Trax had been stolen from in front of his home at 111 Everett Street a short time before. He left the keys in the vehicle while he went to knock on his aunt's door, and an unknown party entered the vehicle and drove away. On June 4th, this is at 318 Sumner Street. This was a and B. The officers responded to a radio call for investigate persons at 318 Sumner Street. So this individual stated that this, and mind you, this was at 2:14 a.m. This individual stated, the victim, I should say, stated that he went into the bathroom at this establishment at 127 Maverick Street, and when he was exiting, an unknown male began to assault him and verbally threatened to kill him. He was not able to. He said he was not able to describe the suspect, and that he had never seen him before. You see, he says the owner of the establishment knows who that person is, and that there are cameras. The cameras would have captured the incident. This individual had a small laceration on the inner side of his mouth and a small bump on his head, and was evaluated on scene by Boston EMS and denied any further evaluation from EMS. So I got one last one, and this right here is what's really becoming a problem for all, I should say. So this is June 5th, and this is going to be trespassing, but this is with juveniles. So on Friday, June 5th, at about 4:21 p.m., this two-man unit responded to a radio call for at the Mark, which is located at 99 Sumner Street, East Boston. So upon their arrival, they spoke with the front desk personnel, who stated there had been about 8 juveniles trespassing inside the building's vestibule lobby, outdoor fence and seating area. She stated that these juveniles are a frequent issue, and she has reported them to the police numerous times in the past. The juvenile suspects had already fled from the area by the time the police had arrived on scene. However, there was video and photo extended to the police officers of these individuals. So the problem that we've been having, and this has been going on, especially in Maverick Square, there's a lot of other businesses as well as residences that who've been experiencing these juveniles who, for some strange reason, doesn't understand that you're not supposed to be in certain places, and when you're asked to leave, you leave and do not come back, but yet and still they continue coming back anyway. So this is one of the issues that we're dealing with. I want to say a couple of the officers had sat down with who sat in the hub, said that they were trying to come up with a game plan on trying to provide these juveniles with jobs, but in a manner of doing so, they want to try and separate them if they can, so that they're not always together. So if they get jobs, some will get jobs in another part of the city, etc. So, but this is becoming a very, very big issue with us.
Excuse me. Sorry, I realized I'm in a different room than I normally am. I apologize. Yeah, Officer Mosley, we have one question for you.
Sure.
Asking if you could provide an update on the shots that were fired at Lopresti Park.
Still under investigation.
Okay.
They and they are making some headway. I could say that. So I can put it to you like this: what a lot of people don't understand is that you know what, when there are video cameras everywhere, and just like Aaron Hernandez got caught, it's the same thing. It just follow you from point A to point B to point C. So it is still under investigation. I think they have, and they were able to ID the suspects, and it's still in the detective's hands. So they're still working on it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
That was the only question mark.
Okay. And just really quickly, as we're heading into summer, is there anything that you encourage people to be thoughtful about? Is there anything that we should be aware of, or?
No, yeah, just like just like Sergeant Sotolo would always say, it's a difference between 311 and 911. So if you need like loud music, etc., stuff like that, please contact 911. I know a lot of people, we hear this in a lot of meetings, they say, oh, but it's not an emergency. It's that 911 is not just for emergencies. People have to realize is the calls they get prioritized. So if you call 311, like you said, if it's happened on a Friday night, Saturday night, or Sunday, none of us get it until Monday morning. So 911, there's a record of it, and if and when the call comes in, then they will send somebody there. That's if they're not busy. They'll send somebody right away. Other than that, 911 is a preferred response.
Okay, thank you. That's very helpful. And I see that just as a note to everyone, Roberto Gomez has put his contact information into the chat for everyone to take down if they would like to contact him for Adrian Mataro's office. And Officer Mosley, I'd like to encourage you to put your contact information in the chat for us to share with everyone in case they'd like to ask or reach you separately as well.
Sure. You got it.
Yep, and I see some people put their thumbs up. Okay, and I see that the mayor's liaison, Carlos Garcia, looks like he is ready to go next. So I will call on him. Carlos, go right ahead.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you all for the update. Carlos Garcia here, your East Boston Neighborhood Liaison, the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. Just a few quick updates, and then I'm happy to take questions at the end if time allows. First, want to thank everyone who made the time to show up for the public meeting number 2 for the Porzio Park redesign. I know that meeting just wrapped up. I just wanted to reiterate that the meeting will be posted the park's website. I will drop all the information in the chat afterwards. I think there's been a lot of really great suggestions, and I think that there's 3 design concepts that were presented, all based on the surveys that you guys had filled out. So just want to thank everyone for that and for being a part of the project design and engaging with the project team. I will also leave Kevin Bogle's contact information for this project, and if anyone has any questions, please feel free to reach out. I just wanted to mention that the Office of Civic Organizing, I know we had just mentioned the block parties. They are extending the block party grant application until June 22nd. This is exciting because it gives people a little bit more time to plan and also take advantage of the Boston 250 and World Cup kit that's going to be included with this. Know someone who's interested in applying, please let me know. I'm excited to at least join a few of these block parties. I know there's going to be many events happening in June and July, but especially for the ones here in Jeffreys Point, I'm very excited for those. As a reminder, the FIFA Fan Festival will be taking place at City Hall Plaza from June 12th through June 29th. If you're planning to attend, please register ahead of time at bostonfwc26.com. Passes are required. It's I'll drop all the information at the end of in the chat afterwards. Leading up towards the end of the fan festival, the World Cup watch party at East Boston Memorial Field will be on June 27th, I believe at 7 p.m., and that will be a physical game. So very excited for that. I'm sure there's going to be a very busy crowd of fans at this watch party. So um, lastly, a few other updates. Just wanted to reiterate as well that please continue reaching out to me. I really appreciate those who get to me on quality of life concerns, parking, transportation, any like there's no issue that's too small. So I really don't want people to like hesitate on reaching out to me. I am willing to make time to like come see you, meet you on site. And I wanted to remind everyone that I am available weekdays during between 8 and 10 a.m. I just asked the community to lower between 2 and 3 days ahead of time if they would like to see me between 8 and 10 or in the afternoon. I think it's just a good opportunity for people to, get eyes on an issue or just do a walkthrough if there's any concern areas in the neighborhood, wherever it may be. And wanted to give an update on the Mary Ellen Welch Greenway detour, primarily the Orleans Street the speed humps that are coming to Orleans. The target remains by the end of the month. Speed humps and daylighting. I will share this information as soon as I have like a very concrete date on when these speed humps will be coming. I know there's probably going to be a lot of questions or people that um, weren't sure that those were going to be implemented, but happy to take feedback afterwards or as the plan develops. And lastly, I know there was a huge outpour of residents, especially in the Jeffreys Point area, that were pushing towards a one-way conversion or removal of parking on Orleans Street. And it has been decided that they will not be moving forward with any changes in regard to making or removing parking at this time. So just wanted to make that clear. I know that many people had questions and have sent many emails about the detour with their concerns. I'm still willing and able to raise these concerns, but just wanted to give an update on that. And then I know that there was some news about the business hours being extended. I just wanted to let everyone know as soon as I have updates on guidance and how the city is going to proceed with any changes to licensing for hours of operation, I will let them know. Please reach out to me via email, by phone, or if you see me around. And that is all for now. I'm happy to take any questions or comments in the chat or here.
I actually have one question just in regards to something we've talked about
Sure.
before. The tree pits that still haven't been filled. Are they planning on coming back? I haven't seen that company around for a while.
McKay?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed the question. You are talking about the tree
The
pits?
remaining tree pits that haven't been refilled after their construction.
Yeah, I was assured by the people on the ground that they were going to be filling all of these. I didn't get to check in the last day or so to see if they had been completed. Is
They
it the
haven't.
same one that you had reached out to me for?
That's the only one
They
that
filled
I
that one?
personally know about, like that I've
Okay.
reported to you, but there are others in the neighborhood as well that still haven't been done.
I
I could find out.
I'll make sure that message is sent. I'll do a double check on that.
Okay. I honestly really think they just missed the one that I sent to you because they were here right next to it and
Yeah.
did three of them, but they left that one empty. So it's
Yeah,
a
no,
big
I know a
hole and
couple of the guys on the ground.
someone's gonna trip and hurt themselves in it. So sorry.
Yeah, I have the guys on
You're
the
breaking
ground
up a
have
little
my
bit, Tyler.
contact, so no worries. I'll make sure to follow up on that one for you.
Cool.
Does
Thank you.
anybody else have any questions?
Aubrey, if you'd like to go ahead.
Yeah, quick question. Just the mom's chat is live with heat waves coming up and everything about the hours and various jurisdictions of splash pads and water the timing and also like who is in charge of various splash pads. So curious kind of if maybe some more like streamlined I firmly believe like people shouldn't necessarily have to know who's the governing body of a certain park to be able to like effectively use it. And thinking about I guess some of them don't start till 11. We have a bunch of heat waves coming up, I'm sure, this summer. So just looking to get a little bit of clarity about who people can go to if splash pads aren't working, what hours they're available, and that kind of thing, so that folks can actually use them and plan hot days accordingly.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great question. I'll make sure to talk to the parks team to see if like what their current schedule is. And I know the Office of Emergency Management does open up cooling centers and like cooling locations. So I'll work with the Office of Emergency Management to get those updates if there's an actual declared heat emergency in the neighborhood. But that would be a really helpful like find out what I can get for the you know water. Roberto?
Hello, everyone. Regarding any splash pad for them in the Massport property, please reach out to us. I'm happy to give an update on when they're going to open them up. Anthony's great about keeping us updated, and we could always try to nudge, see if they could do it sooner, but also consider the requests that you're making at this moment.
Thank you. Anybody else?
That's all in the chat.
Okay, thank you so much, Carlos. We greatly appreciate you being here. Please feel free to share your contact information so that people can reach out and reach you if they have additional questions, concerns, or anything they'd like to go over. We will, of course, share the FanFest link on social media and also include it in in the notes for our meeting here as well. Next up, we have Jay Meekum, who is with Boston Harbor Now, and is going to talk for a couple minutes about, this is like a huge summer. There's a ton of stuff going on. We've got the World Cup, we've got the tall ships, but we don't want to forget, we've got Eastie Weeks coming up, and Jay and Boston Harbor Now have been amazing partners, making sure that Eastie Week happens every single year, that we have so many free, wonderful, wonderful activities. And fun fact, these community weeks used to be something, I forget which mayor they were started by, but they used to happen in every neighborhood across Boston for years and years. And now I believe it's Eastie and I think Roslindale are the only ones that are left. And that is because of the community groups in East Boston that make it happen, and because of Boston Harbor Now. And so huge shout out to Boston Harbor Now, and huge shout out to Jay for being incredible and helping make sure that this happens every year, and especially this year when there's like so much going on. So I know we invited you here to talk about Eastie Week, but I did want to take like just a few seconds and say thank you to you and Boston Harbor Now, because it is a lot of work and a lot of resources to make sure that our community has this amazing experience at every summer, and we really benefit, and we are very grateful to you. So I will shut up now so you can do your thing, but I just want you to know you and Boston Harbor Now are appreciated. So love you so much.
Thanks so much, Margaret. That's really, really kind. And I'm super grateful to be here tonight. I'm Jay Meekum. I'm the Senior Community Engagement Manager at Boston Harbor Now. And I've had the joy of getting to work on the Eastie Weeks program for, I guess, all 5 years that I've been at Boston Harbor Now. And so I've really enjoyed getting to work with the community, especially in the last year or two. We worked on a big marketing and branding redesign with a local artist based on feedback we got from folks who have been helping with planning Eastie Weeks, and also from some surveys that we took that folks were welcome to take as well. And so we're really excited to be able to sort of streamline what Eastie Weeks looks like. This is, I think, the 13th Eastie Week. And so it's really exciting to look at how we can continue to evolve. And honestly, one of the most time-intensive parts every year was redesigning a flyer. And so we were really excited to be able to work on something that could hopefully show a lot of what Eastie is about. Obviously, there's no way to perfectly describe, as unique and wonderful community as Eastie But so you'll see in the chat, thanks for sharing that over. A couple things that Easty Weeks this year is going to be from July 12th to July 29. Technically, Friday was really the date for getting in events. And I know that the potluck is there. I saw that. If folks do have another event or two, feel free to email me tonight. I'll make sure to send my email in the chat. But our next meeting, the final meeting of this season, is going to be in person on June 25th. That will be from 12 to 1 p.m. at Pierce Park Sailing Center. That is the time where we distribute flyers that have all of the Easty Weeks events on them. It's where we distribute tickets for the Easty Sunset Cruise and also additional signage. So I think that if you or your organization can be there and want those supplies, that's great. I also will make sure that I send a link to sign up for tickets for the East Boston Community Cruise, which is on one of the Tuesdays during Easty Weeks. I don't have the date memorized yet. It's going to be on the it's on Tuesday, the 21st of July. So that is the free evening community event. We'll have Zoomix there with music, dinner catered from Sammy Carlos, and we leave from the airport dock. And so we ask community groups to sign up for tickets, and then we distribute as many as we can, as close to the ask that you have, and you then distribute those paper tickets out to the community. I think that is really pretty much all that I've got. There's a link in the chat for graphics folder that has the general flyers already for Easty Weeks. That will continue to be updated. So once the flyers are made that have all of the events, they will also be in the same place. But you can feel free to use that material to just get started telling everyone about Easty Weeks coming up. I mean, obviously in the midst of everything else that's happening. I am happy to take questions, but I really appreciate y'all taking a minute to, talk about Easty Weeks.
No questions in the chat.
Just
Aubrey
wanted to
has her hand up.
tomorrow's event, if you wanted to put some shine on that too.
Oh, wait, sorry, Aubrey, you said tomorrow's. I was like, wait. Tomorrow is the Boston Harbor Now 10th annual. We're doing spectacle on the harbor. And so I'm really excited we get to hang out in Easty. It's at the Tall Ship. And so I think that I'll be able to see some of y'all there. And I'm very excited. I think that area of the waterfront is my favorite to watch the sunset from. So I'm excited for hopefully a really gorgeous sunset evening. Thanks for highlighting that, Aubrey.
And just when the posters and the announcements come out, make sure that you look over them in detail. There's always a wide range of events. There's volunteer opportunities, there's block parties, there's movies. Overwhelmingly, the events are free. It's a wonderful, there are kids events, there's adult events, there's things for all kinds of different ages. There's things inside, there's things outside, there's arts, there's crafts, there's all kinds of things. So whether you've been to one of every event that Easty Week puts on, or whether you've never been to any event before, make sure you look it over. There's something there for everyone. I think just about every organization in East Boston adds at least one thing to the list. So it's a wonderful, wonderful time. We're very lucky that we still have this going on in our community. So are there any questions in the chat?
No questions.
Okay. Again, Jay, thank you again for both your hard work and your efforts and everything you do on our behalf. I am keeping us moving a little bit because I know that we have several more things on the agenda. And then I do expect that it's going to take us some time with the presentation from the marina. So up next, we have Rita Laura from Maverick Landing Community Services. They have a new grab and go program, and I'm going to let her give you more of the details. But Rita, it is always a pleasure to see you. Thank you so much for being here this evening.
Thank you so much for having me. Only be a few minutes. Can I share my screen? I think I can, right? window.
You should be able
God, I
to.
always have trouble with this. I should be able. I just need my website, or if someone can pull it up for me, I would be forever indebted because I always really struggle with this.
What's the
I'm not.
website, Rita?
It's mlcsboston.org.
Okay, one second.
Andrew's the host, so he has to do all the.
Oh, thank you so
No,
much.
she can share, but it's okay. mlcs.org.
mlcsboston.org. I can share. I'm just, for some reason, I always have trouble finding the window.
One second.
I don't know why. I have it up and I can't see the window. That always seems to happen to me. I had a feeling it would happen. But thank you. There we go.
Just let me know where you want me to go.
Yeah, you could just sort of scroll down a little bit. So we're Maverick Landing Community Services. We're focused on right now. We're really focused on expanding food access, and really our work is at the intersection of housing support, supportive services, education. Also doing a lot of community building through creative spaces, and all of that is really important for community wellness and economic mobility. So, but what I really want to talk to you tonight is about a big piece that we're doing this year. We're expanding our food access, and you can kind of scroll down a little bit. And that's a sizable expansion. You'll see the young woman in the picture actually is holding. Do you want to maybe scroll up a little bit so you can see? That's the grab and go bag. So what that is we're going to be we've soft launched and we'll be hard launching on July 22nd. You can come to the formal launch if you like it. There's a place on the website where you can access that and sign up if you want to come to the formal launch, where we're cultivating this space, which will be a space where people can come and pick up these grab and go bags. We've set up a system where you can order them the day before, and they're being made. We've significantly scaled up to a warehouse in Roxbury. So these bags get made. There's great quality control. We make them at the warehouse, and we bring them over to the grab and go daily. So there's nice fresh bags. This is rescued produce. But it's really good quality. Typically with rescue, you eat it during the week, and it's only $3 a bag. So what's great about this is it's a really big money saver for a lot of households right now. And you can see here just some stats. So it's $3 a bag. It's also $2 for artisan bread that we rescue. We're keeping it really simple, not any other kind of food, at least not for now. Just whole uncut produce and artisan bread. And we believe it could be up to a $5,000 savings per household. We rescue about 40,000 pounds. Right now, we're at about 40,000 pounds a month out of the warehouse. And we're serving about 5,000 members. About 2,100 or 2,200 folks are served through sort of housing, workforce, case management, supportive services. And about another 2,000 to 3,000 are served by what is a growing food program, because we're absorbing a 38-year rescued food program network. And we're all located in the warehouse, and we're absorbing those lines. Right now, what the expansion looks like is the grab and go here in East Boston will be a real anchor to serve communities. And then on the other side of the tunnel, right now we have about 30 markets that we're in the midst of absorbing. We're probably about a third of the way through absorbing those runs and sort of building infrastructure. And if you could scroll down a little bit more, and those are just our various programs and services. You can keep scrolling. I want to get to, there we go. Right here, there's a picture of us. We were at the Omana on Saturday. You'll be seeing us over the summer doing various pop-ups to try and build awareness. We'll have a complimentary pop-up at our Juneteenth event. Actually, could you click on the little Juneteenth at the top? I would like to take a moment to invite you all. At the navigation bar, there's a little Juneteenth menu right next to MP Store. MMP Store. See that Juneteenth? There we go. So our Juneteenth event is Thursdays, June 18th 4 to 8 p.m. We'll have a pop-up there. We'll have also a lot of other folks tabling, fun events. We'll have a performance from some Berkeley students. It's going to be a lot of fun. We do this every year. This is our 6th annual Juneteenth. It's an important year to celebrate liberation and freedom because we all need liberation and freedom right now more than anything else. If you can just click back and go back to the main page. There we go. And can you click on ribbon cutting? There we go. So I just want to invite you all. If you go to our website, you can sign up. That's when the space sort of formally gets launched. It's a former classroom that we're kind of reinventing as we sort of shift around programs and right scale some programs and grow out what we think is a much needed program. So the grab and go, there will be no lines, really easy. You text for your food the day before. Pickup's going to be is available right now Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and we'll probably be adding Wednesday to it. So it's a really nice, easy way to get a good deal, not have to wait in any lines, and just save a lot of money and eat healthy. More importantly, it's a lot of good food. You get to eat healthy, and you get to do so affordably. There's no sort of eligibility. Anyone who wants to save money can order. You can order however many bags you want. So it's just an open hub for the community to feast on good food and not burn a hole in their wallet.
Sorry, Tyler.
So that's what I got. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. And thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Rita. This is a really wonderful program, and I'm really excited to see it's going on. You told me about it when we ran into each other about a week or so ago, and I'm glad to hear it's going so well and that I think it's gonna take off. I'm glad to hear that we're being so creative about the many different ways that we can combat hunger here in East Boston.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
That's really wonderful. I'm going to turn it over to Tyler, who's going to kind of coordinate the next section of the meeting for the next couple of minutes. So.
All right. Thanks, Margaret. So what I'm going to do at this point is, we periodically have elections for board seats. We have 5 board seats. And currently we're going to be sort of holding an election for 2 of those board seats. Myself, Aubrey, and Andrew, we're still on. You guys are still stuck with us. So we're still on until I believe the turn of the year. That's when you guys can revote us either in or out. But for right now, Margaret is going to be essentially rerunning for the election, which is why I'm kind of conducting it at this point. It'd kind of be awkward if she sort of conducted her own election. And Joanna is actually going to be leaving us. So we do have those 2 open seats. I know Margaret is running for one of them. I believe Claudia is going to be running for another. And basically, this is open to. And my apologies, I'm kind of just doing this here. So if there's other folks who have already expressed interest, I'm kind of opening it to the group here. So please don't take me not announcing your name right now as like a indication of anything. This is open for everybody. And essentially what we're going to do is each person can give a little quick talk, just introducing themselves, that kind of thing. This is, again, pretty informal. And we'll gather everybody who has sort of nominated either themselves or somebody else. We'll basically get anybody who's, quote unquote, running for these 2 spots. We'll get a list together and we'll get out a ballot within the next week or so. And we'll all kind of vote on who's going to be in those 2 spots. All right. Yeah, that's enough of me rambling. Margaret, would you like to kick things off?
Sure. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. I will speak for no more than 3 minutes, I promise, because I know that it's quick time check, it's 7:48, and we still have 2 more things on the agenda. My name is Margaret. I have been a resident of East Boston for just over 20 years now, actually. I've been at the same location. I joke to my landlord that he's going to have to drag me out feet first someday. More likely it's going to be his kids that do that, actually. But he's a great guy. I have been on the board for a number of years, and I do admit it is probably getting to the point that I should be moving on. But I have said to people that I want to make sure that people are comfortable before I do that. That people understand the bylaws, that people are comfortable asking questions. Last year we had a changeover, and it was four new board members. And so I never, I've put a lot of work into this organization, and I never want to step away and leave them in a place that people feel uncomfortable or, oh my God, what do we do? So I'd like to stay on for another year or two to make sure it's in a good place. And then if there are people here who feel really strongly that hey, we're good, I'm fine stepping back and letting it move on its own. Some of the things that I feel really strongly about are holding elected officials accountable. I feel very strongly that they need to come and see us at least once a year to report to us about the things that they accomplish and about what they want to continue to accomplish in the coming year. And honestly, trees. East Boston has the lowest amount of tree cover of any community and neighborhood in all of the city of Boston. And I think especially with the airport, that contributes to us having an incredibly high temperature, and it also contributes to us having poor air quality. So I remain a huge champion of both Eastie Farm and Tree Eastie. I'm always going to be cheerleaders for them, and I'm always going to support them, and I'm always going to be the first one to say, what can we do to help them? And please consider voting for me.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. Appreciate it. And then I know we have Claudia. I believe you've also expressed interest. So Claudia Sorsby, would you like to give a little speech? You're on mute, Claudia. I saw that real quick. Hold on. Let me Andrew, can you take her off mute? You got it? Yeah, you got it. We're good.
Okay. Hang on a second.
You're good. We can hear you now.
Hi, everybody. I'm Claudia. I live on Webster Street now. I've lived in Jeffreys Point for 17 years, which was one of those odd moments of, wow, has it really been that long? It doesn't feel like it. And it's become a place that's become very dear to me. And during the pandemic, I think I realized how much it had become a part of me. And daily walks along the waterfront, going over on the Greenway. And Dan and I had been my husband had been looking for a place for a while that we could we were renting for a long time right by Eastie Farm. So well aware and got to see all that first come up, and finally found a place that worked for us, and it was here on Webster Street. So just been 3 years, just a little bit more. And unfortunately, we're having some repair work done on the building, and long, boring story, but I'm so sorry for all the neighbors. My apologies to everybody. It'll be done as soon as possible. And it's been great being in the area. It's like I miss being able to run across the street for pizza at Italian Express, but he's coming back now, and he's still not going to be that far. So, and now you may have seen me here on Webster. The first year of Halloween, I found out that Margaret did the book thing. And after screaming for 10 minutes, where were you when I was 9? I was like, I gotta get in on this. And so I've been helping Margaret the last couple of years. You may have heard me, screaming and, books. And there's just so much happening now with the group. And full disclosure, I was one of the people checking out the Blue Caboose this week. I got to meet Troy, and I'm may have been there 2 days in a row and can recommend absolutely. Yes, Crescent Ridge is their supplier, and yes, they were written. I think Aubrey caught it that they were labeled a best in Massachusetts or best in Boston this year. So I can testify that yes, very, very nice. And I've been here long enough. I'm feeling more comfortable. It's like, okay, I want to help. I want to be part of it. I've done this in the past. I've volunteered at community bookstores in Philly right after I graduated from college, and then in New York's in the city when I was there with the West Village Committee Bookstore, which had actually been originally founded by Jane Jacobs, but she'd long gone by the time I got there. And I even was able to volunteer at a Oxfam bookshop in Cambridge when Dan and I were there for a year. The other Cambridge, the farther away one. And I currently host a knitting group online that meets once a week on Fridays. And we've been doing that for something like 10 years now. It's sort of amazing to realize. It was in person and of course went online when everything else did. I work as an editor, did copy editing, proofreading, copy editing, line editing, project management, the whole ball of wax. I've been doing freelance work for a long time, but this can be a useful thing for community groups to have somebody who's, used to proofreading and last minute, oh God, please check this, because we all know after a certain time, you've looked at it too often, you could spell your own name wrong. And I would like to be able to help with that. And the project management experience might also be helpful. I've had teams of freelancers and coordinating people, and it's something I'm reasonably competent at. And I would like to be able to bring these skills to help around here. So vote for me, please. Do not vote for me over Margaret. Let me be really clear about that. But you said there were 2 spots, so it's okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Well, we very much appreciate you putting yourself forward. So thank you for that, Claudia. Definitely. Thank you so much for that. Very much appreciated. I do want to open it for anyone else. Is there anyone, Andrew, has anybody indicated in the chat? Raise your hand. Feel free to volunteer, give a speech. Speak now or forever hold your peace. All right. Well, I'm still a big voting guy. So I'm still very pro voting. So we will still send out a ballot. There are 2 people for 2 slots. So I think, some of us might be able to figure out how that might end up, but we will be sending out a ballot within the week. So keep an eye out on your email, in your spam folder, if it doesn't show up within the week. But we will be sending out a ballot for the election. So thank you both, Margaret and Claudia, for putting yourselves up there. We very much appreciate it, and we appreciate your efforts. With that, I'm going to turn it back to Margaret to move along in our agenda.
Okay, thank you so much, Tyler. Up next, we have Ian Chung with the Coalition for a Healthy Democracy. And then directly after that, we have the Boston Harbor Shipyard and Marina. But I did see Ian. So, yep, there you are. Ian, feel free to take yourself off.
Margaret, there was David Lank's thing too.
Oh, what happened to...
No. Just saying David Lank is on the agenda as well.
Oh, okay. Well, let's let Ian go, and I will check on that other thing.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, but Ian's definitely next.
Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, everyone at JPNA for letting me speak today. My name's Ian. I work with the Coalition for Healthy Democracy. We're a ballot initiative campaign / nonprofit, and we are sponsoring the all-party primary initiative for the ballot this November. So we recently crossed our petition signature threshold of 12,500 signatures. So we will be on the ballot. And so we're just reaching out to some community organizations, some neighborhood associations, and nonprofits about our initiative, why we think it's a good idea, and encouraging you as community leaders to consider supporting the initiative, voting for it this November. So I am going to just quickly share my screen if that's all right. Just for a brief moment. And I am happy to take questions if there are any at the end. But here's just a quick overview of the initiative. So we think there's a couple issues currently with the Massachusetts system. First of all, too many of our elections are not real contests. We analyzed 1,335 elections over the past 10 years or so and found that the majority were non-contested. You have lots of incumbents in statewide races, in the state legislature, in the executive offices that simply do not face serious competition from either within their own party or from the other major party or from independents and third parties. And we think this encourages a lack of accountability and a lack of transparency in our state government. This is especially exacerbated by the fact that most Massachusetts voters are unenrolled or independent, which means that they have to, when they go into the voting booth, they have to pick one partisan primary to vote in, as opposed to having the full range of options be open to them. I also think there's two more issues with our elections. First of all, there is a psychological phenomenon where if you have parties that are separated from each other, generally what happens is there's kind of an echo chamber effect. Excuse me. There's an echo chamber effect. Voters of similar minds, especially in primary elections where voters tend to be less moderate than the general electorate. There's a kind of a polarizing effect where, say, you only hear Democrats or you only hear Republicans or you only hear members of your third party speak about their issues. And so what a lot of data in psychology and sociology shows is that when you have voters and politicians, candidates of all different perspectives from all across the political spectrum get in one race, that generally tends to reduce polarization and let voters speak to each other about ideas that they might not have heard about, that they might have been more closed off to in the past. So that's the second issue. And then the third thing is we simply think voters should have more choice in the process. Right now, say you want to vote for a Democrat for governor, but maybe a Republican or a third party for a state legislative seat or a more another statewide election. An all-party primary would give voters the chance to do so. And so those are the three issues that we think all-party primaries would fix in the process. So the way it would work is all the candidates would be listed on one primary ballot instead of having to pick separate party primaries. A lot of people ask if this is like ranked choice voting. There are some similarities, but the main difference is that you're still only voting for one candidate. But you see all of the choices available to you, all of the candidates of all parties, and then the top two candidates, regardless of their party affiliation, would advance to the general election. One of the greatest advantages of this, we think, is right now in both major parties, Republican and Democrat, you need 15% of party delegates to even get on the primary ballot. So regardless of how much support you may have in the electorate, regardless of how well you might be doing in the polls, if you don't get more than 15% of party delegates, then voters won't be able to see you on the primary ballot. So this would change that process and make it so that as long as you get the requisite number of signatures from voters, you are on the ballot. Your party affiliation is listed, but voters still see all candidates of all parties who got that number of signatures on one primary ballot, and then the top two candidates advance to the general. So party labels will still be on the ballot. Candidates and voters can still see who candidates are affiliated with, and parties will be able to endorse candidates. So, for example, the Democratic State Convention could endorse a certain candidate in an all-party primary, and that will be listed, endorsed by the Democratic Party of Massachusetts. So parties and the party establishments, conventions would still have a role to play, but they wouldn't be gatekeepers anymore, with the 15% of delegates controlling whether you get to be before the voters or not. So just to wrap it up, we think there's going to be more meaningful choices for voters. Since the top two candidates are guaranteed to advance the general election, this will mean more competition in our general elections, which is important because general elections have much higher voter turnout than primaries, and you give a broader swath of the state a say in who gets to be in statewide office. It gives unenrolled and independent voters more opportunities to participate in the process, and it encourages accountability among our politicians. So if you'd like more information, we have it at our website, coalitionforhealthydemocracy.org. Petitioning is over, but we are campaigning for the next few months, and this will be on the ballot in November. So I encourage you all to keep an eye out for the all-party primary. And I'd be happy to take any questions if there are any. If not, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak today.
No questions in the chat at this time.
All right.
I have a quick question for you, Ian. If someone wanted to support this initiative, what could they do?
Yes, so we have canvassing volunteer opportunities, like uh, like candidate campaigns, except this is a ballot initiative campaign available on our website. So I'd encourage checking out coalitionforhealthydemocracy.org. And then a big thing that we're doing is relational organizing. So getting people that you know, getting friends and family to come and vote with you, and using your community networks and influence to support the issues and the causes that you care about. So I would highly encourage getting involved. There's a lot of ballot questions that will be on the ballot this November, so I would also encourage checking some of those out as well.
Okay, awesome. Can I encourage you to put the website in the chat so we can share it out? It's always easier than when people can just like click a link.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, that'd be great. Excellent. Thank you so much for being here, Ian. As you said, there's going to be a lot of ballot initiatives this fall. So I'm glad you're here early so people can learn about them and be more educated. Civic participation is incredibly important, especially now more than ever. We do have, it's 8:05. We have two things left on the agenda. I do feel pretty good about this. Next up, we have the Boston Harbor Shipyard and Marina. They're going to talk about a bit of their summer schedule and their overview of activities. And then a reminder, they will be back again for the planning and zoning meeting on June 17th, where they will go into more detail about upcoming permits. This was done on purpose, both to break things up and make things easier, and also because they needed to get certain approvals before they could share certain information. But they are going to present now, and I believe we're going to hear from, I saw Sal Lamattina is here, and then I also believe that's going to be several people from the, usually it's several people on the team that present. So we'll turn it over to the Boston Harbor Shipyard and Marina. And then after that, David Lank is going to present. So after the shipyard is done, please do not go anywhere.
Thank you, Margaret. Good evening, everybody. I'm excited to be here tonight with our new manager at the shipyard, and it is Brian Roach. Marshall is still with us, but Brian will be doing the everyday operations at the shipyard. And with that, Brian, why don't you come on?
Sal.
Hello to everybody.
Yeah, hello. Let me share my screen here. We have a little presentation. Thank you, Sal.
Welcome.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
You can see it? Yes, thank you. All right, so welcome to the shipyard portion of this. I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm the new general manager of the shipyard. My name's Brian Roach. I'm from the South Shore, and I grew up all in these waters, fishing. I have a very strong maritime background. I went to school down at Mass Maritime on the Cape, and worked on ships all over the world, mainly dealing with military cargo and big 900,000 foot ships. So very, very large maritime oriented career, and I'm excited to be kind of directing that towards the shipyard end of it. I've spent my fair share at shipyards all over the world, and I'm excited to bring my knowledge and experience to the one in East Boston. So that's about me. Marshall is still, as Sal was saying, Marshall's still with Ocean Havens, our parent company, kind of more on a corporate level. He's the director of shipyard operations, so you'll still be seeing Marshall around the shipyard as well as planning and stuff. Currently started the Travel Pier project, Travel Lift Piers, out on Pier 4. It started in early May with ACK Marine, and demolition's been going great. And we're still on track to finish that in September of this fall, September 26th. We had kids and boating last weekend. It went great. It was a large amount of people that showed up. Over 150 people came. And Massport was there with their fireboat, Ceto, Boston Police boat, the Nantucket Lightship. You could get onto that, and there was hot dogs and hamburgers. We actually ran out of food halfway through. We had to go get more food, so it was great. It was a great showing. I think the weather helped out huge, and so we just thank everybody for coming and checking out the boats and the marina and kind of kicking off to the beginning portion of summer. Zootopia 2 is going to be our movie night on July 21st. We have a rain date of the 27th. And so yeah, that'll be going on in our Cinemarina. We're excited to be putting that on for the community, and it should be good. It's got good reviews, so we're excited about it. Sail Boston. We just wanted to chat kind of with the community. It's going to be heavily affecting Marginal Street. As you heard earlier, there's going to be security checkpoints all along, and I would definitely prepare. You guys all live in the area. I think it affects visitors worse than the people that live in the community, but they're going to be screening a lot of items coming through the shipyard on Marginal. I would just be aware of it and plan ahead. And it's just on July 11th, the day of the parade. The other days will not be affected, but I would definitely. We're trying to spread the message in regards to the shipyard. I would definitely plan ahead. In the planning and zoning, so as you heard earlier, we're going to be attending the planning and zoning meeting this month. We're still in the pre phases of filing for permitting and stuff, and we're excited to give you guys an update of where we're at, and we look forward to discussing future plans and improving the shipyard overall for the community. So, and that is it. That's all I have on my end. So yeah, thank you. I'm excited to be contributing for the shipyard and the community. Excited to meet you all someday in person. If you're ever walking through, stop by, say hello.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Brian. I think I'm going to pitch in here until the end. I think Margaret had to step off. She had a time commitment. But thank you, Brian. Really appreciate it. And we look forward to talking to you. I assume we'll see you next week at the Planning and Zoning meeting. But look forward to talking to you then.
Thank you. Has anybody got any questions, by the way? I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, Andrew, any questions in the...
No questions in the chat.
Cool. Awesome. And with that, I think we're going to turn it over for our last 15 minutes to David Lank, who has got some cool information about a new neighborhood nonprofit. I don't want to speak too much for him, but David, I'll leave it to you. You're on mute, just in case you didn't.
There we go. Can you guys hear me now?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for accepting me as a late ad. At the suggestion of Carlos, the neighborhood liaison, we have this pretty exciting nonprofit that I want to introduce to all of you, and something that was going on potentially in the Jeffreys Point neighborhood. So Carlos said, we've been sort of talking to almost everybody casually, and he's like, I'd love to get you in front of the Civic, specifically Jeffreys Point. If they would have you, it would be great just to start the conversation, let you all know what we're up to. So here I am. I threw together a presentation, but I'm mostly going to be talking. With me is a fellow Jeffreys Point community member, Tim Zeitler. I assume many of you know him. Tim lives on Summer Street. Tim is an artist and an architect and a father of 73 children, and proud husband, and baseball coach. Actually, probably first and foremost, right? Baseball coach. And then, yeah, so I went backwards. Tim is the project architect for everything that we're doing. And this will be really fun because I don't think Tim or I get to ever present anything this cool. So backing up, the name of the organization is called Project Starboard. And it started out by a lot of people who love East Boston quite a bit, like myself, and probably everyone who's been on this call for this long, sort of coalescing and brainstorming about what do we love about East Boston and how do we like ease it out? It's already here. And it became this incredibly large vision, which we'll talk about very shortly, which might be like a 20-year vision of something that many people have already thought about. And we've actually brought them on board to our discussions, something like an East Boston or Boston Harbor History Museum. You guys have probably all thought about it, heard about it. It's something that we're fairly passionate about, but of course, to do it right might take 20 years. But in addition to that, the Climate Center would be something incredibly interesting to do here. Bring some of the foremost kind of institutional industry people literally on the front to sort of save the neighborhood and the harbor. And so wouldn't it be interesting to sort of pair Boston Harbor and East Boston past with its future in like a major, major world-class way? So that's where it started. And then we came back down to earth for a minute and we're like, what should we actually do today? And the answer was what we'll talk about now. So I'll share my screen and Tim can join me in sort of explaining what we're up to. If I can go to my PDF here, it's actually letting me do my it's not letting me do my PDF, so we'll just do the actual PowerPoint. So I'm going to full screen this for you all, if I can. Sorry about this. Play. Is that a full screen for everybody? Right.
Yep, you're good.
Okay. So Project Starboard. So we sort of reduced everything we've just been talking about into 5 categories: immigration, marine industry, infrastructure, climate, and belonging. And the tagline that we have is Starboard examines the forces that shape East Boston, the American threshold on Boston Harbor, to better understand who we are, how we got here, and what comes next. So the concept that we came up with, which its namesake, it's named after the Golden Staircase, and the Golden Stairs, was the golden thread. And this sort of idea is both metaphor and we hope also physical. Something we're envisioning right now is here, which is a cultural trail throughout East Boston. And this concept could be something similar to a freedom trail, but we hope it's something that's not static and something that's maybe more alive and dynamic. It could be something that's actually physical, like some of the reference AI images you see here, like a golden needle, that marks actual sites around East Boston that are historic, cultural, scientific, or otherwise. But it also could just be something that lives within us, and we'll go a little bit further so that we could actually start it today. Something a little bit more modest and easy would be an actual physical thread. And so an idea that we've been tossing around that I'm actually wearing right now, Tim might be wearing as well, is a golden shoelace to be worn on your right foot. And that might be something that we're able to provide literally everybody within the neighborhood as part of our nonprofit. And so you could start to sort of see it around the neighborhood and other places in the world. You could be at a concert on Lansdowne Street at a show and somebody's wearing a golden lace on their right foot. You know that they're a fellow sort of East Boston, compadre, or, obsessor like we are. It doesn't have to be someone who lives here. It could be someone who just loves it someone who's visited here, a family member, a friend. We thought that it could be something super powerful and super modest and kind of incognito. Um, Another thing that we're starting, that's something we could do today, is sharing stories of arrival, in line with that sort of idea of a threshold. Whether you've come here by your family yourself 200 years ago or yesterday, we all share sort of different stories here in East Boston. You could have just come here from Charlestown. Um, but to sort of have a conduit of the fact that we all belong here because we've all been somewhere else and come here, whether it's through our families or ourselves, feeling like we have a sense of belonging by sharing stories. That could be through the schools. We're already starting conversations with the Boston Public Schools and Excel and a few other places, or literally an online entry form where you could just enter in your anonymous story of arrival. And we could sort of have those up in all kinds of languages, just so that people know that they're not alone. We've all, been outsiders and are now insiders. Um, and lastly, the Threshold series, which is what we want to talk to you a little bit more specifically about. We're going through kind of a system of 5 thresholds that we hope to install this summer. It's an idea that we've advanced really fast, but really methodically. And Tim and I have been up very late nights, sort of literally architecting these 5 thresholds to represent the 5 subject matter areas. This reference image is actually based on reality, and it's the inside of the thresholds that we're about to show you. The 5 subject matter areas are arrival, crossing, making, adaptation, and belonging. We'll go into each one in much more detail. This interior shot is to sort of exemplify what it might be like to pass through this threshold. This is one side of the threshold. And it's for, it's accessible. It's for both children and giants. And it should hopefully have a very sort of engaging, experiential, magical experience as people go through them, to show the comparison between what's there now, could be there, or what has been there in the past. So Tim, I'll let you go. I'm about to go through each one of the 5. We haven't rehearsed this, but Tim designed these. Tim's been here for a long time. I'll let him introduce himself to you, and the one that we have sort of ideated in Jeffrey's Point. So Tim, go for it.
Sure thing. Thanks, David. Can everyone hear me? Tim Zeitler with Zephyr Architects. You probably know our firm from around Jeffries Point as well. That's how I found the firm 8 years ago when I was looking to move on from my current job in design build. I saw Jason Art and the team doing great things in our neighborhood, and I just sent out a quick note of just compliment about doing nice things in our neighborhood. Fast forward a couple years, and I'm working there, and I've worked there ever since. We're a small team of architects in Boston. Everyone can probably hear that same car driving by the neighborhood. I'm here on Sumner Street at 474, where my wife Katie and I have set up shop. We've lived in the neighborhood for 20 years. Is crazy to say that. But we love the neighborhood and we couldn't really picture ourselves anywhere else. And so we have 4 kids. If you haven't met me before, it's because I have 4 kids, live under a rock, and I just work and take care of the kids. And David is a repeat client of ours at Zephyr. We designed his house there on Bremen and Gove Street. And some other buildings around Eastie, including 219 Saratoga. Very unique projects that kind of respect the context. And for us as architects and designers, we appreciate David as a client because he's up for doing interesting things. He has continually put his money where his mouth is. He's a facet of our community in multiple ways, serving as a volunteer on many boards in the neighborhood. So when he came to us with this thresholds project, I guess, with the starboard idea, as a whole, and then this first pilot project where we're trying to deploy these objects around the neighborhood in an intentional way. We responded with interest, of course. It's not a building we're putting here, but it's something that pays attention to our neighborhood, a neighborhood that I care about a lot, that my family cares about a lot. And so certainly I couldn't say no. And then in terms of the design process and what these things are, it kind of has evolved over time, and I would say David's really been quarterbacking and spearheading this in a way that he's been spending a ton of time on this and trying to be intentional, reach out to all these all of our fellow neighbors, and this meeting is just kind of a part of that. And basically each of these thresholds, these arch thresholds, I'm not sure if you have, yeah, there we go. They'll all be kind of congruent, and they'll have different placements around the neighborhood that tie back into, like David was saying, very historical things that happen in these specific locations, or they also look forward to the future about what could happen. So the idea of threshold and the golden thread is kind of all there is to this project. So I would just say we've tried really hard to keep it very simple. And of course, as with any project that requires an architect, a structural engineer, a civil engineer, and all these other disciplines, it's been a kind of a fight and a good fight to keep things simple. So we're trying to stay true to our design intent to have these objects, which are about 8.5 feet tall, basically made of half-inch steel, uh, structurally engineered to withstand our climate and our high wind conditions. It's another thing. David's trying to get these things up for Sail Boston. We don't want them to participate in Sail Boston by flying away. So they're self-heavy, but there's more to it that's unseen as well. We can go into that design aspect as later, but I would say the the main elements of this somewhat simple arch design are the lighted thread that goes around the arch and down each side, the signage component, that changes from threshold to threshold, and the third thing is the cut aperture window that is kind of positioned specifically to frame certain and kind of educate you as you're passing through this threshold, as to what was there or what could be there in the future. Um, so David's showing some images that we've generated as a team that kind of tie them, that kind of ground them at these five locations. The five locations are owned, of course, by different entities: Massport, the City of Boston, uh, the CDC, and yeah, so they're owned between those three organizations. So, and then potentially the Parks Department, which is why, that the Golden Stairs Terrace Park is this one here is this is a Parks Department property, and so if you can imagine, seeking approval is both in Boston, as with any building that we're trying to do, is a multifaceted thing. There's the soft process, the neighborhood association process, that is that proceeds a certain way, and then there's the hard process of for instance, if your project, a different one of these is on a public way, and it requires 23 government agencies to chime in, and say their piece and say that it either pertains to them or not, just as part of the critical path of the project. Um, to say more about this particular one that's on the screen, so this particular threshold, and all the thresholds will have, we're trying to keep the content pretty simple in terms of the signage. David's working with historians and getting rights to the potential imagery on these things. And there's also the most robust aspect of the content will be accessed through online through a QR code that's kind of in the middle of the panel. You can see it there in the middle. And then we're trying to, keep the simplicity of it with a single word. The word will be translated into multiple languages, most likely, and then a couple images that are, in this case, where it's about crossing. We have an image of kind of a giant section at the top with a tall ship at the top and the tunnel underneath. Just a very beautiful historical drawing, and below a historical kind of collage and photograph of the tunnel under construction, one of the two tunnels on that part of East Boston. So that's I guess one of the main. So there's 5 locations. Each one kind of touches a different part of the neighborhood, and the most important one to really discuss and just like introduce to everybody here in Jeffries Point is the one that we would hope would find a landing place in Jeffries Point. If you just pause here, this at the park, the staircase is obviously like a very precious historic aspect of our neighborhood. It's we at first we kind of envisioned something that would like span the staircase and just like draw attention to it in a way that signifies something is coming here that's great. All of these things kind of do that. They signify in a as a placeholder, as a mysterious object, like a sense of like mystery or intrigue about what our neighborhood is about and what is to come. Um, the one at the stairs, the original design that we've been working with is kind of spanning the whole stair. And if you've ever been to the bottom of the stairs, or the top, or all along it, it's the gigantic staircase. There's really a lot going on there. With with the handrails and the whole staircase, as we all know. Anyone who's been on it in the last few years, especially, it's kind of in disrepair. So I would just say we initially wanted to locate an arch there or some sort of object. These are all temporary, by the way, I should say. I should have said that early on. These are made out of steel, but they're kind of designed to be to last this summer, basically. So surely they'll last a lot longer than that. They're made out of half-inch Corten steel, which is a weathering steel, and their lifespan will exceed that. But the proposal here, the pilot project, is for these to exist temporarily in these 5 locations, and then that's kind of the approval that we're seeking from the stakeholders and the landowners in these locations.
And yeah, Tim, I'll quickly interrupt you. And Tim and I are like, we literally stay up all night on this stuff a couple times. But yeah, the reason for our presentation is actually just to kind of start the relationship and the conversation. So what we want to, like, everyone we talk to about this gets passionate about it and like wants to be involved. And we love that. And so I'm gonna put my personal contact information in the chat. Oh, the chat's disabled. If you go to Starboard, my numbers, that's my phone number.
David, I put the Starboard website into the chat, but if you want to send anything else to me, I can send it to the main chat.
Sure. Yeah, and my phone number is on that website. That's mine. That's not we don't have an office line yet. It's just my cell phone. So we like, if anyone is interested in being involved in any way, the answer is yes. Please call me, email me. And like, this is like some of the most exciting thing I've ever done in my entire life. I guess outside of my son, I should probably say that, or my marriage. But all of these things are like I can't go to sleep every night. And hopefully you guys are instilled with the same sort of passion that Tim and I are about all of these. We are looking to program these images. The one for arrival at the Golden Stairs. These 2 are examples of some nice images that we found that are in the public domain. One is of a ship pulling in the Boston Harbor of immigrants around the turn of the century. And the other is hopefully they're on the East Boston waterfront. I don't have confirmation of that, of various, ages and feelings and garb. But if others have historic images or anything that would sort of call to that idea of immigration and entry and arrival in and around the Golden Stairs, I would love to entertain it and like open up that discussion to the world because it would be great.
You guys should have you looked at the Boston Public Library? If you go to the BPL, they've got the huge digital image collection. Like I can't think of the acronyms off the top of my head, but you're shaking your head. Yeah, I mean that's a huge source and trove of images you
BPL
can
is
kind of
awesome.
sort by location and stuff like that.
It's
Renee, I do
yeah,
see. I think we have. Renee, do you have a question? See you raise your hand.
Renee,
You're on mute, Renee.
You're welcome to speak if you'd like.
Yeah.
Oh, I think she changed her mind.
No, she's clapping. She's clapping. She
Oh,
might,
she's
maybe she meant to
clapping.
clap
Okay.
in approval. All right.
And David, the only question that's been in the chat so far is something you sort of already answered. How can residents help support this? If you want to shoot me your contact information, I can send that in the chat.
Okay. I will do that. And so yeah, that's the first answer. But we're gonna keep you're gonna keep hopefully seeing us in and around the neighborhood about this. Let me how do I pass it to you in the chat? Sorry. Andrew, there we go. Oh no, I have to go to the chat. Sorry about this, Andrew.
Gotcha.
David Lank.
Okay. Got it.
Sorry, I have trouble multitasking. There's my contact information. So that's the first thing is I'd love to like honestly, if you had like an idea of an image, like I saw something of like 6 different ethnicities walking off a gangplank, in 1837. I think you can find it here, or something along those lines. Like I would love to gather people's information. And ultimately, in working with the East Boston History Museum and Society, we hope to ultimately act as kind of a repository for assets, both, image and otherwise for the neighborhood. Because if we actually are able to deliver this like world-class museum on East Boston, like in East Boston somewhere, we can start storing things now. And then what else? I mean, other than that, like letters of support about the whole org or these thresholds are always helpful. We're applying for a lot of grants right now because these things and everything we're doing are super expensive. We don't have a donation link on our website yet. Sorry, but I'll let you know if anyone's interested in donating. We have to figure that out. We just set up a bank account last week. What else? Yeah, so these things, as Tim mentioned, are temporary. They're not built to be temporary. These will live forever. They're made of Corten steel. Our hope is they find their next home by the end of their residency in each site. So, it could be a school. It could be another historic site. And the content is designed to be changeable. So, the idea is that these 5 things that are ultra durable and ultra expensive will continue to be seen in East Boston in perpetuity, just in different places. These first 5 are damn powerful. So maybe they come back, to the Golden Stair Park or to the ferry dock or to the dry dock, in 5 years or something like that. But they're meant to like make the rounds. And as Tim mentioned, if this whole thing fails miserably, they'll be rentable for weddings.
So I actually have a comment for you, David.
Yes.
Go ahead, Renee.
When I was on the board, there was actually a committee that was put together for the East Boston History Museum, and they actually gave the board a whole bunch of copied photos of all history in East Boston. So I don't know if Mary still has it because I gave it to her back then. There's numerous pictures, but you can even reach out to them and see what they have of the Golden Stairs.
I will, and we have been in close contact. As the stewards of East Boston's history, Deborah, Stephen, and Coletta, and all they're involved in this already.
Oh, good, excellent.
And so I'll ask them about the Golden Stairs.
And see if Mary still has all the photos. We were given the guy from East Boston, Mary Cole.
Mary Cole. Okay.
She was on the board.
Okay.
It was a huge when I tell you a huge bag of photos that were actually breathtaking.
This is exactly what I was hoping for. Thank you, Renee.
You're welcome.
All right, Mary
Not
Cole,
sure if
done.
Mary's still on the call at the moment, but I can reach out to her and see if
Yeah,
she's
we can
available
connect
for
with
it.
that. I do want to be a little conscious of time, guys, because we are
Yeah, sorry, we
over
always
our
take too
time.
long. We have to.
No, it's quite all right. It's quite all right. But I do want to thank you guys very much for your presentation. This definitely looks really interesting and very, very cool. And yeah, just be in touch with us. You know what I mean? I think we've got all your contact information, so folks know how to contact you with more information. We'll keep checking your website and stuff like that. And please reach out to us, with updates and stuff like that, so that we can keep the membership abreast of things and so on and so forth.
Great.
Yeah, well, thank you guys very, very much. Thank you everyone else here for joining the June meeting of the Jeffreys Point Neighborhood Association. And with that, keep an eye out on your emails within the next week for a ballot. We have 2 people on the ballot for our 2 positions, but please vote. It's important to vote. But with that, we're going to declare it closed. So thank you again very much. Thank you to all our presenters. Thank you, David and Tim. Thanks, everybody. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful evening. And hopefully we'll see you guys at the potluck in the Golden Stairs Park next month. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Have a
you
good
all
night.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.